So season 3 of Highlander. Wow, it ends with this awesome Callus storyline. It does some really cool, interesting things. And then we get to season 4 of Highlander the series, and they must have figured, like, what do we do to top this? Let's not even try. Now, am I saying season 4 of Highlander the series is bad? Hell no, it's not bad. It just lacks direction for almost the entire season. Now, you've got some really cool gems and nuggets and things that do expand the lore in season 4, but by the time the credits rolled on the very last episode of the season, I was just like, oh, is that all? Because if you were wanting them to build on the Callus stuff, now, yes, sure, spoiler alert, Callus meets his end at the end of season 3, but I thought that would be a good template of what you can do next with Highlander. All right, come up with another big bad and kind of put him in and out of the season here and there. Or something, have a narrative thread that goes throughout season 4. There isn't really anything like that. We start off strong with Duncan going home to Scotland, which is awesome. Great stuff. And then we've got our kind of similar thing that we've had in all the other seasons. Half the season set in America, the other half set in France. And I have a bone to pick with how the show is done like that, because last season they did something with Richie where they contrive a reason for him not to be able to be in the French parts of the series anymore. I'm like, why would you do that? He's in the credits the whole season, and now he's guaranteed to not be in half of it because of something you've done in season 3. Yeah, so I don't know why they kind of painted themselves in a corner in certain ways, I think. And I was hoping for them to capitalize on so much, and don't feel like they really did. There's some interesting things towards the end, and there's some interesting Highlander mythology explored in season 4, but it's all mostly standalone stories that are independent of each other, and it's not really what I wanted. So we've got Adrian Paul, of course, as Duncan MacLeod. We've got Stan Kirsch as Richie Bryan when he does turn up. I don't know why he's in the main cast. And we've got Jim Burns as Joe Dawson. In fact, part of me just thinks like that Peter Wingfield's mythos turns up in more episodes than Richie Ryan. At least that's how it felt like to me. Then you got Elizabeth Grace and Amanda turning up in a few episodes as well. We'll give season 4 some credit though. It has the best opening sequence of Highlander. It does. It's amazing. It's incredible. And I wish I could say the rest that the rest of the series was this good. It does recycle quite a lot. I do want to point out that if you're just going to do your Highlander of the Week thing, things are going to start feeling samey. And I'm sorry, season 4 is where it started to feel a bit samey to me. And I'm going to describe things that happened in multiple episodes. You're just going to be like, this has been happening since season 1. And I'm going to be like, yeah, I know. So Duncan will have a flashback to where Duncan will meet an immortal. And he'll be like, ooh, I remember you. Flashbacks. And then the end of the flashback shows the immortal getting away or being let go by Duncan, or in a fate worse than death. And I'll get you, Duncan. And then modern day, they come back to get Duncan. And I'm just like, all right, so old Duncan back in the past just lets everyone go on with their lives. You can go, 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 you can go free. And then cuts to like 1995, 96, and then like every week, swing about man. There's an episode of Highlander though where, I shit you not, they tell Duncan to be careful because this guy's killed like 10 immortals in 5 years. Are you serious? We're up to season 4 now. Duncan's killed like fucking 50 immortals by now. In 4 seasons, 4 years. Dude. Wow. He's taking heads. So that's weird, man. I don't know. If you don't kill them all in the past, you got to kill them all in the future. So if you just kill them all in the future, wow, he's killing a lot of people. And that's fine. That's just how the series is done. But when you're doing that every single episode, eventually I'm just going to be like, we do something different. And sometimes they do something different. We got a couple episodes here called The Dark Quickening, which is an interesting concept. And then we've got something that happens with what happens if an immortal and a watcher don't get along and all that kind of stuff towards the end of the season 4 finale. But let's get into it. I'm going to do my top 4. No, top 4. I'm season 4, so I'm thinking 4. My top 5 episodes of the season, and then my lamest 5. Let's start with the lamest 5. And we got Brothers in Arms, which is Highlander. The series has a thing about second episodes. Because, wow, second episode of season 1, not good. Same with season 2. Can't remember about season 3, but same with season 4. And Brothers in Arms, we bring back Charlie DeSalvo. They do some good things here by giving you a bit of a backstory to Jim. Jim Burns as Joe Dawson, but they kill off Charlie DeSalvo. Why? Why? It felt needless. Like you could have had him just leave in season 3 and never have him back. But now you had to kill him in season 4. Okay. Wasn't a fan of it. Then we got an episode called Chivalry, which is about Duncan having a relationship with this immortal woman who's very clingy and gets all angry / crazy mental when you try to leave her. So modern day, of course, Richie and her start hooking up and Duncan's just like, oh, I wouldn't do that for you. And Richie's like, you know my dad. And then yeah, there's that. Ugh, not a good episode. We've got an episode called Timeless, which is about Duncan giving this pre-immortal some guidance so she can follow her dreams as a classical pianist or musician or something like that. Then another immortal comes who knows that she's a pre-immortal and kills her just to keep her at that one age where all this creativity is coming out and being an artist and stuff like that. By this point, though, I'm just like, why are there new immortals popping up? Why? There can be only one. Well, no, they can't if they keep only being born. What's going on with that? Answer me some questions, please, Highlander, the series. Then you've got the immortal Somali, which is about this guy who does magic, who dies, and comes back to life, and then just incorporates him dying and then coming back to life as being part of his magic show. Really not all that interesting, and I might surprise people with my top 5s because my top 5 does not include like the finale of season 4 at all, or the last couple episodes with all the stuff that happens between Duncan, this other immortal, and the Watchers. Did I like that? Yeah, but it wasn't like edge of my seat, holy crap kind of stuff. It was just like, yeah, this would have been great if you kind of interspersed some of this stuff previously. Like, I don't know, build up to this. Anyway, my top 5 episodes, in no particular order. I usually go through the whole season and go, all right, yep. So the first one is Homeland. Duncan goes home to Scotland, and it's wonderful. It's got this kind of mythological story going on in the background. It's got a great ending. It's really cool. Dug it. Great start to the season. And then you got to the episode 2 curse, and I'm like, Then we've got Deliverance, which is a part 2 of a 2-part story where Duncan has taken this bad guy's head and he's experienced a dark quickening, which is effectively just turned him evil. He's doing evil things. I would have preferred if Deliverance had been spaced out. So Deliverance is part 1 of him turning evil. But then you've got like 3 or 4 episodes in a row of evil Duncan. Like that that would have been interesting, but I guess not so much since he's supposed to be the good guy and hero of the show. But yeah, that was really cool. I really liked them actually exploring something with the quickening powers, which they never do. He takes their power. Do they take the memories too? Explain quickenings, please, in more detail. It's season 4, come on. But yes, Deliverance is really good. Bit of a goofy ending, where he fights himself a la Legend of Zelda 2, but I still dug it. All right, so I did write these all mixed up. We got Methuselah's Gift, which is something I was hoping would be brought back. And you could always do a few different episodes a year on this kind of stuff, but they don't. And it's the crystals that Amanda has and wears around her neck, like they all combine somehow to make something that makes her immortal. So that's a really interesting episode. We've got Mythos in it, we've got Amanda in it, we've got Watchers. It's everything Highlander the series is. It's really cool shit. And we got the Blitz, which I thought was really cool. So it's a story of him flashing back to him being actually in the Blitz during the bombing when the Luftwaffe was bombing England. And then cut to modern day, there's been an explosion somewhere and he's got to go and rescue Anne Lindsay, who's pregnant, from some underground explosion and rubble and all this kind of stuff. Really cool stuff. One of my favorite flashbacks of the year, so really cool. And then I'm going Double Jeopardy, which has the return of Roland Gift from the Fine Young Cannibals. And yes, his character did get beheaded, but there's always flashbacks. This episode makes me feel like the flashbacks weren't being seen. They weren't Duncan's flashbacks or other Immortals flashbacks, like Xavier St. Cloud. So a part of me felt like I was watching Xavier St. Cloud's flashbacks. And I'm like, well, Duncan took his head, so is that why we got flashbacks like that? But no, it just feels like we're seeing them through the other Immortals' head and then through Duncan. So I don't know, if you absorb their power, don't you absorb their memories too? Why wouldn't you remember other Immortals being like, oh yeah, I've heard of you, but I've never met you. But I've heard of you because I've taken your mentor's head or whatever. They never do stuff like that, which kind of annoys me, but the general gist and premise of this story is really cool. Really cool to see Roland Gift again. Villains don't tend to last long in Highlander. You cut off their heads, they're gone. Like, they don't stick around. So yeah. Those are my top fives. There are some other good episodes as well. This season finale could have been better if we built up to it more. I just thought that season 6 was about as big a mixed bag as season 1. And season 1 can be a mixed bag, because they're just starting. They're trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. Season 4, you should know what works and what doesn't. And instead of kind of riding the momentum that you had in season 3, you didn't. Yeah, all my favorite parts of season 3 were story arc stuff, and that's not generally the case in season 4. In fact, you barely do story arc stuff at all. I'm giving you a 6 out of 10 Highlander season 4. Hoping season 5 we see some more kick-ass action and kick-ass stories and stuff like that. I am ready for them to actually do some more long-form storytelling. As I said, like, I know a lot of 90s TV wasn't big on long story arcs and it was mostly done in ones, but by this point of time, Babylon 5 is on, and he's telling a long-form story. You've had Star Trek Deep Space Nine, you know, you've had things tell long-form stories, and you're a genre show as well. You must be able to see that. Like, why not capitalize on this kind of stuff? Instead, it feels like they're trying to do as many just standalone, isolated stories for syndication reasons and things, rather than just, I don't know, maybe they're holding themselves back. Yeah, but a lot of missed potential for season 4. Anyway, see you for season 5.